Yeah, this should be fine. Now, what we need to do to set up the flicker effect, well, first of all, we need not a daylight sensor, just a light sensor, isn't it? Where is it? Scepter of Twilight. No, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a light sensor. So it's a blue doped wafer, a stone wire, and stone wafers. So to get stone wafers, we need to take we need to take smooth stone and cook it in a furnace. Not in that furnace, in a normal furnace. Yeah. Alright, let's grab a bit of coal coke out of there and throw it in here. So cooking smooth stone in the furnace should give us 2 stone wafers. So we also need a blue doped wafer. So I'm going to have to go grab, unless we have some in here. Yep, some nickelite. So this is going to get a bit complicated actually. So we need to make a blue doped wafer. There, so that's a silicon wafer and nickelite. A silicon wafer is a silicon buell, and a diamond handsaw. Silicon buell is 8 coal and 8 sand, or 8 charcoal and 8 sand. Luckily, we have a little bit of coal sitting over here. So let's get that. Grab 8 sand. Get rid of some of this junk in my inventory. And we'll cook that up to make a silicon buell. And we'll also need a diamond. Did I have any diamonds here? I don't think I do. No, alright, we'll have to go grab a diamond handsaw. I believe it has to be diamond too, because I have a sapphire handsaw in there. But I think you need the precision that only diamonds can offer in order to cut up a silicon wafer. So that's fine. We'll grab this. Oh, there's a cat in our house. Oh well. We've got some wafers coming along. There's our silicon buell. Now, alright, grab some sticks like this. 2 diamonds there. 2 iron there. Gets us a diamond handsaw. Now we can take that and our silicon buell and we get 16 wafers. Now go to our furnace. We can cook a silicon wafer with 4 nickelite, and that'll get us our blue doped wafer. Now what else did we need? Stone wafers and a stone wire. So that's fine, we can make those now. So we've got our blue doped wafer. Now we need a wafer, we need a blue doped wafer, we need stone wafers, but we also need a stone wire. And that's just the basic redstone circuit wafer thing. Just redstone on top of a stone wafer gets us a stone wire. So I'll put that at the top. And stone wafers around the side, blue doped wafer in the middle gets us our light sensor. We've got that. Next up we'll need, let me think. I know we need a randomizer. So that's a tainted silicon chip. Go away, zombie. Go to bed quickly. I might have missed something here. Tainted silicon chip. Let's see. A tainted silicon chip is a silicon chip with glowstone, and the silicon chip is a red doped wafer and just stone wafers. Oh, okay, we can do that. It's no problem then. So that's just, let's see, that's just a red doped wafer is just like a blue doped wafer. It's just silicon and redstone instead of silicon and nickelite. So that'll get us our red doped wafer. So it was that on top of 3 stone wafers to give us 3 silicon chipsets. So let's try that. There we go, silicon chipset. So if we combine that with a piece of glowstone, we get a tainted silicon chipset. So we need 3 of those. We also need 4 stone wires and 2 stone wafers. So we'll need 4 stone wires. So we lay it out like this. No, that up there. And that down there. Was it? That right? Yes. Alright, that gets us our randomizer. So that's going to give us our flicker effect. The light sensor will turn it on at night. Now the next thing we need is... I've got to remember how to build this. Got to remember... I'll just have to check quickly. Okay, so I've jumped on my test world just to check what I needed. So it's an AND gate, which, unlike in regular Minecraft where you have to make a really complex wired up thing just to get an AND gate effect, here we just make a complex little wired setup to make a single block AND gate. So we'll need stone cathodes, stone anodes, and wires and wafers. So a cathode is just a redstone torch on top of a wafer, and an anode is just 3 redstone on top of wafers. Okay, so we'll need a couple more sticks for torches. So we'll need 3, or was it 4? I'll make 4 just in case. Yeah, it was 4. Okay, so that gets us 4 stone cathodes, and I'll just grab a few more wafers. So that gets us 4 cathodes. We also need to make, what were these ones called? Anodes. We'll get 1 of them. And what was the other thing? A wire. Just 1 wire though. So then we get a wire, 2 wafers. Was it 2 anodes and 4 cathodes? Gets us our AND gate. So now we're almost there. We've only got 2 more to make. One is a repeater, and we could make the vanilla repeater, but instead we're going to stick with red power and make a red power repeater, which is just stone wafers, cathodes, anodes, and wires. So it's all stuff we've made before. So once you get into this red power stuff, it's pretty straightforward. Even though the recipes look complex, they all use a lot of similar bits and pieces. So we need 1 anode, so we've got that. So we'll just need to make 3 of those. And let's see if I remembered the recipe. Something like this? That's not right. That's not right at all. Okay, yeah, that goes there. There we go. There's our repeater. And the last thing we need is, what was it called? An invert cell? Yeah, alright, an invert cell. So it requires stone red wire. Is that a different thing? Oh, it is. It requires red alloy wire. Okay, so we need 4 of them. So it means we're going to have to go grab a few bits of wire from over here. Oh no, we have wire on us. Never mind. So let's see, we needed 4 of them. So let's get them built. 3, 4 of those. So we've got stone red wires, stone wafers, and a plate assembly, which is wafers, cathode, sticks, and a red alloy ingot. Luckily we kept a red alloy ingot. Phew, that would have been a pain. Okay, so 2 sticks, the ingot, 2 wafers, and... oh wait, we need to make... before we can do that, we need to make another cathode. So put a torch there, plate there, so that gets us our cathode. Put our ingot in, our 2 sticks, and our 3 wafers, and we get a plate assembly. Alright, we're almost done. There's just one more thing we need, and that is a screwdriver? Yeah, screwdriver, which is just a stick and an iron ingot. Very easy to make. So stick, iron ingot, screwdriver, and that's just like our wrench for Buildcraft. It's just a tool that we can use to manipulate these rev power logic machine things. Let's throw these extra bits in here. Now we'll need to make a little bit more rev wire. So let's just throw those in there. Okay, we've got tons of stone wafers now, so that's good. Now I don't want to set this up out there really. Okay, we'll set this up. I don't want to set this up outside because I'm going to get exploded by a creeper. I just know I will. I got hit about 3 times building that Thorncraft building, so not going to let it happen anymore. Alright, 3 wire. That should make us enough alloy wire to get this done. Oh, I didn't finish building that. Silly me. Okay, plate assembly, rev wire, stone wafers, gets us the invert cell. So now we should have everything we need. So to start off with, let's punch a hole in the wall here, just for the sake of demonstration. Let's drop our daylight sensor so it isn't under a tree. So we'll drop it there for now. Now I worked out that turning it to, see this adjustment here, I'm shift right clicking it with the screwdriver to adjust how much light it needs to activate. So by setting it to this lowest setting, it means it will only be active when it's a clear day like this. If it starts raining during the day, it turns off. If it's nighttime, it turns off. Otherwise, I think this setting is pretty much always on. This one is off at night. I think this one is off at night and but on if it's raining. And this one is pretty much anything that isn't sunshine, it turns off. So from there we can run some wire inside, and you'll see it's active now, which means right now if we ran it to a lamp, which I'll just do right now, if we ran it to a lamp, it would turn them on, which isn't what we want because it's daytime right now. So once night falls, it'll turn off and it'll turn the lamps off. So to get around that, the first thing we do is we add an invert cell. So by adding the invert cell here, you'll see when this line is on, that torch in the middle is off, which means this overarching line is off. So we can run from there. That means that when that's, like, we look at the way it works now, during the day this sends a signal and gets turned off, which turns the lamps off. At night that turns off, which turns this off, which turns that torch on, which turns the lights on. So we could set it up right now just like this and it would perform exactly how we want it to. But instead I wanted to add a flicker effect. So to do that, if I get this wire back, to do that, the first thing I will do is set up a randomizer. So put the randomizer here. Now when it gets a signal, when it's turned on, you'll see it's just randomly pulsing to these 3 different output directions. If I put down a few bits of wire, you can see it better. You see it's just randomly pulsing, which is what I want it to do. So if we connected that to the lights right now, see they just flicker randomly. And the thing is, they'll keep doing that all the time as long as this receives a signal. The problem is when you turn it off, it saves whatever state it's in. So right now the state it's in is off, off and on, which means the lights will stay on. If we turn it and let it flicker for a bit and turn it off, you can see now it's stuck with these 2 on and that off. So initially, I just wanted to hook the daylight sensor up to a timer connected to this that would just let this run for a few seconds and then turn off. The problem was you'd get that. It would turn off and the lights would be stuck on, which meant during the day the lights would stay on until it got triggered and flickered again, and it might turn them off. So it's not ideal. That can stay on now. So the way to get around that is to add an AND gate to this one. So is that turned? Oh, it's nighttime. Excellent. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, it's nighttime, so this isn't sending a signal, so this inverts the signal on the upper line and turns that on. So the last stage to this, and have I got this right? Yeah. Have I? Yeah, no, yep, this is right. Okay. So by using an AND gate, now, and I've connected that, but it won't work until we turn off that last piece. So now, when these both have an on signal, this line will turn on. The output turns on, which means the lights turn on. So now, these will only flicker when it's nighttime. So as soon as it turns to daytime, which I could demonstrate with a lever here. So if it turned to daytime, this would be sending a pulse, which inverts this, which turns this off, which means it's not receiving both signals, only one, which means this stays off. So now we only flicker during the night. But we only want it to flicker for a few seconds. That's where the repeater comes in. So I add this repeater here, and I set it to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 ticks is what I wanted to set it to. So if I just turn this off for now, connect this to here. Alright, now you have to follow me on this. Basically, when it gets dark, this will turn off, which will send the pulse through here to the AND gate, which means that when this flickers on, this will already be on, so the lights will flicker with the randomizer. However, while that's happening, we've also sent a signal through the repeater, which will take a small amount of time to get through, a few seconds, but when it does, we'll have a solid signal to the lights, which means they stay on until the daylight sensor turns off again, or turns on again during the day. Which means, signal comes through, sits in there for a while. While it's sitting in there, it's passing through here, allowing the randomizer to flicker the lights, and then this will turn on and keep the lights on solidly until morning. So let's see if it works. So artificially turning the daylight sensor off, lights flicker and turn on. So we'll turn it off. This is the only problem with the system so far, is this delay when they turn off, which is, it's minor. With it linked to the daylight sensor, it's barely noticeable. But if I'm just going to break that quickly, plop that here, so that we can see it a bit better. Okay, so the lights are off, so it's daytime. Now it's nighttime. Lights flicker, turn on. It's daytime. Lights turn off. It's just turned to nighttime. Lights flicker, and turn on. It's very small, very useless effect, but I honestly spent quite a while trying to figure it out. I actually spent a couple of hours one night in a sleep-deprived state, couldn't work it out. I woke up the next morning and built it in about 5 minutes. So I was kicking myself a bit there, but I'm really happy with the result. I think once we get all these lights set up, and just having it turn to night and just having them all flicker and start up, it'll look really cool. Be a really nice effect. But alright, this episode has now gone extremely long. I may even have to cut it into 2 parts. If I do, sorry about that. I really need to watch my episode lengths, but I'm working on it. I haven't worked out what to do yet. I think at the moment just rambling and doing what I do and just splitting it if I have to split it is probably the best way, rather than having to cut stuff out and edit things down just to try and fit them into a 20-25 minute episode. So alright, that'll do for this one, guys. I'll get these lights all set up so that at the start of the next episode we can watch them turn on. It should be awesome. Alright, I'll see you then.